Hey, look at that. Bruno Coppola, Laconia, New Hampshire, first in tonight. Jeff McKinney right behind him. Mike Draco, Cincinnati here. Third in line tonight, Mike. I don't know what happened there, but third's still good enough. We're glad to see you, buddy. Hey, we're glad to see all you. This is Chris from Cycle Source Magazine. I'm going to be your host on the next 90 to 120 minutes of all the two-wheel bullshit we can fit. A little program we do every Sunday night here in the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio called Shop Talk. Great show lined up tonight. We got a lot of great stuff. Tech tip from the guys over at 32 Choppers. We're test riding the new Harley-Davidson Highway King. We got a killer feature bike, and in the sidecar, as you might notice from the text at the bottom of the screen, we got a crazy gentleman with us. Going to be talking to Rob here. Had a great conversation with him on a long, almost by accident ride. We'll tell you all about that. Just 3.5 minutes out from going live with this episode of Shop Talk. Let me say hi to some more people coming in. Jim Payton, what's up, buddy? Jim's Choppers, another neighbor. Anthony Robinson in the house, bringing the coffee in the shop for the night. Hey, listen, if you're sitting there watching, just another observer, you don't have to be. You can watch this and participate in the show by putting your comments in wherever you're watching from, any of the 15 channels that we're broadcasting Shop Talk through tonight. You can put down your questions, comments, concerns, general bitches, dismay, disheartened feelings, resentments for Mark, whatever you have. That's not nice, is it, Mark?
Yes, it is. Sometimes the truth hurts.
Gonna be a good show. Greg Hunter in from Southern Maryland. Hey, let us know where you're watching from, man. We always get a kick out of that. Help us spread Shop Talk across the land by hitting the like and share button. Get it out there further every time we go live. Every Sunday, 9 p.m. on the East Coast here. Don Gilmore, Chase Rider number 22. Jeff McKinney, Youngsville, PA in the house. Mike Draco, General Bitches. That's it, baby. General Bitches. I have a couple. I started out writing my editorial this month, and flames were coming out of my nostrils. Somehow, I managed to turn it into something kind of positive, rather than sound like a grumpy old bastard. Steve Burrow's in the house from D-Town, in the D. We had a short layover there going up to Milwaukee. We actually flew to Milwaukee, Mike. Milwaukee Mike. I can't say Milwaukee without saying Mike.
Okay, I have a bitch.
Go ahead.
Mike.
I called you Mike, Mark. Mike, Mark.
Markle,
Dude,
Michael.
buddy,
It
good.
doesn't matter. Just don't call me late for dinner.
Oh, my goodness. Professional biker.
Wow. I'll just take over from
Go
here.
ahead, please.
For sweet Jesus' sake.
You talk for a while. I'm not doing too good.
I don't even know what the hell's going on.
Who won the Sturgis Bikes and Prizes? It's not. Did we miss Sturgis?
Sturgis is over?
Holy shit. It's getting deep in here. Oh, the Law Tiger Sturgis. It hasn't happened yet. Minute 15. Just enough time for you to sit back, relax, get a cold one, get ready to enjoy 90 to 120 minutes of all the two-wheel bullshit we can fit here on Shop Talk. Great show coming up tonight. Glad to have all you guys. You guys are piling in. It's awesome. Awesome to see everybody here. We're probably gonna cut this one a little bit short for the intro because I know that drives Heather crazy, waiting the full 5 minutes. Charlie Wright in the house. Hello, everybody. Marsha Fitzpatrick in with us. Did you see Adam Sandoval's total? I did, man, and that was so awesome. We actually got to ride the last leg of that ride with him, and it was bikes as far as you could see. Drew Scotchless, see y'all at Fuel Cleveland coming up next weekend, buddy. Hope you got your bags packed. But for us, it's time to get this one up out of the station and onto the tracks. Let's go live with this week's episode of Shop Talk. Here we go. Okay, scooter tramps and chopper jockeys all across the land. It's just after 9 p.m. on the East Coast. That means it's time for another episode of Shop Talk, America's first and favorite motorcycle talk and entertainment show. I'm your host, Chris Callen with Cycle Source Magazine, coming to you live 50 floors beneath the street level here in Cycle Source Magazine headquarters through the courtesy of the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio, joined by my ever-faithful crew. My crew.
Did you said bitches and complaints? So the show's only 90 to 120 minutes.
Who's going to be the bitches and who's going to be the complaints? That's what I want to know.
Ain't even close to.
You going to be the bitch or the complaint?
I'll be both. Hell, I can handle both of those.
Dennis Mason, Albany, Indiana. I think that's our first Albany.
Albany.
Bill Stevens, where the hell you been, Bill? Dave Miller coming in from 8th and Lozelle. Check that out.
Hell, he's early.
People are already in Sturgis.
They are. I was actually reading something the other day about I'll be the host.
Professional Monkey wants to be the host.
I was reading something the other day about specific local businesses in Sturgis specifically not raising their prices during the rally, which
nice.
Good
need
for
to
them.
make sure that you check those people out because they're in it for the long haul.
So, lots going on. Heather and I just got back from... We just flew in from Milwaukee, and boy, are our arms tired. It's a Henny Youngman thing. Of course you're too young. Of course.
Henny?
Jeez.
You're such a nerd. Such a nerd.
I am.
I don't know how you talk me into doing this shit.
What do you mean?
Heather, you should have advised me differently.
Oh, no. You're the one that was supposed to give me a
watch
bigger
it now.
warning.
You married
Don't
his
even start
ass.
that. Don't even start.
Who's the idiot here? You
Wait a
married
minute.
him.
You're
Wait-
not
wait a
married
minute.
him, but yet you're still here.
I just show up every day just to see what the hell's going to happen next.
That's why I come back.
Oh, Jesus.
What? No drum roll? Oh,
Let's see,
Jesus.
I'm already
Big D in the
Sturgis.
house. Big D.
Amsoil Adam is there.
Deal stereo, especially if you're not riding naked with another dude.
Hello.
I got nothing. Got nothing.
Nope.
Big D, it was so good to see you last week
Yeah.
at the races.
Mark, you love it and you know it. Nick Hildebrittle. All right, man. So listen,
It's
thank you.
inbred in me. I don't have a choice.
Inbred. He said inbred. He said it.
At least he finally admitted.
Yeah, right.
So listen, if this is your
Oh,
first
shit.
time watching Shop Talk,
Let us
I
apologize.
apologize from the bottom of my heart. But seriously, this is a little program we do every Sunday, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. And we've been doing it for 246 issues now, episodes. There's no sign that we're going to stop anytime soon. What we like to do with this thing, in case you're just tuning in for the first time, is a little entertainment, a little talk, some garage stuff. We start the whole thing off with a segment we like to call The News. The Shop Talk World Report is brought to you by Law Tigers. Get the compensation you deserve and get back on the road with Law Tigers. Starting off in the news, and this comes from our own BRL race family. This happened while we were up in Milwaukee for the Milwaukee, or not, Black Hawk Farms rounds of the BRL, the first two rounds at Black Hawk Farms, and a rider went down, Jesse Janich, BRL racer number 77. We all got together and got a relief fund for him. Heather's going to put the link up for you guys, but please go and help this young man out, career racer, friend to everyone on the track. And the deal here was he was just between jobs, just switched to a new job. He was in the gray area where he didn't have insurance from the last job, not quite yet from the next job, and he's without insurance and banged up pretty good. The fund is up to $22,648 so far. All of his friends have set the goal at $100,000, figuring that's about what he's going to need to come through this on the other side. Any money that you can contribute to this, $5, $10, $20, whatever you have, please help this young man out.
Yep.
So
Good guy, always there to lend a hand to everybody in the pits. And
yep.
everybody needs a hand every now and then.
Next up, coming in from MP and Motorcycle Power Sports News. That wasn't something to laugh about.
No, I was laughing at Mark.
You guys are terrible.
Did you catch that?
No.
Well, it would be nice if you'd pay attention to somebody else in the room.
I'm
goddammit.
reading. You know how hard it is for me to read?
Yes, I do.
You see these? You see the De Niro's I'm sporting over here?
Lord, this is just what is wrong with you two tonight?
We missed last week.
It's going to be a good show.
Last week's show was actually pretty good. I watched the whole thing just to let you know.
Record
You
attendance.
did?
I did.
Yeah, because he
Oh my
wasn't on
gosh.
it. He's like, what I
No,
look like?
yes, he was.
I was on
I
it.
mean, he wasn't
was
on.
on
It
it.
was he wasn't live.
I
He
get
doesn't
what you're
watch when
saying.
He
we're
just wanted
live.
to watch himself on TV.
Well, I wanted to see the part about fording again. You know, it was inspirational.
Record attendance at the 23 Harley-Davidson Homecoming Festival. The festival featured headline performances by Green Day and Foo Fighters and events across the Milwaukee area July 13th to the 16th. The Harley-Davidson Homecoming Festival, biggest music and moto event to hit Milwaukee this summer, took place from 13th to 16th. Venues across the Milwaukee area. Moto enthusiasts from all over the world enjoyed the festivities celebrating the rich 120-year history of Harley-Davidson. The company also announced next year's Harley-Davidson Homecoming will be July 25th through the 28th in 24.
I was catching some stuff about people bitching about it being the 120th. It wasn't truly the 120th. AMF, this and that. And
Okay.
dude, how
Dude,
shallow can you be
First
at this
of all,
point?
if AMF hadn't stepped in,
Right.
Harley may
Would
or
have
may
never
not
made it.
still be here.
And some of the most desirable bikes right now, of the newer eras.
But here's a question. Are these the same people that want to acknowledge Indian as the oldest
Yes.
American motorcycle
Exactly.
company?
Right?
'Cause-
Exactly.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm still shocked they haven't come out with a...
Or they're the same
snowmobile
people
yet.
that do the whole F the factory. If
Yes.
it wasn't for the factory, you wouldn't have anything to chop, you moron.
Well, they bought that shirt at Walmart,
Hey, wait a minute. Hang on. Everybody stop.
Just saying.
Hi, Annie.
You guys need to quit doing that.
I know, right?
That's a group thing.
We love Annie. I didn't see it that time. We love Annie. She's sweet.
All right, so moving on. This comes in from Top Speed.
I put, just so you know, I put this in there just so people knew that Harley wasn't the only one.
Meet the 800cc Indian Scout Bobber Doppelganger from China. Yeah, this is getting to be a real burr under my saddle, or a bug in my ass, or a craw in my
Fish? Crawling your
gullet.
fish?
So Chinese motorcycle manufacturers have been on the up for a while. CF Moto, that's a good. When something's a CF, you're on a good way there. Has been putting out some stellar motorcycles, as has QJ Motors with most of their strategic partnerships with Benelli and Harley-Davidson. There are other brands like Johnway that have, by all means, been producing some great light to middleweight motorcycles, albeit the design inspiration from their Western counterparts. Now.
And they even admit it. That's the worst part about it. Like, they're stealing everybody's
They're proud
ideas.
of that.
But see,
Yeah.
this is the thing, and I have no substance. I would love for somebody that's an investment banker or a corporate attorney to get a hold of me and give me some meat and potatoes on this, because the whole thing comes down to this. You know good and goddamn well that Harley-Davidson would sue the ever-loving skin off of somebody for
Yeah, if they
copying their
did it.
designs,
Right.
and so would Indian Motorcycles. So behind all of this shit is a partnership somewhere.
Yeah,
You
well,
know what I
either
mean?
that or the fact they couldn't afford to sue them because they'd be chasing them for years.
And I'm sorry, it comes down to, maybe you could call me a what they say, a nationalist or whatever the hell it is, but the American worker should come first, especially for something that's supposed to be iconic American
Right.
brands.
Amen.
So let's move on.
Wow. No, you got that out.
Right? Listen,
Who
I had to-
invited that
I had to
guy?
hold
One
my
of
breath
these
to get
days,
ready
somebody's
for that.
going to knock us off our little soapbox.
They will not.
Yeah, look,
Blink.
Professional Monkey says Chinese IP laws are really lax,
Yep.
Yep.
unenforceable.
And that's it. You can't. How are you going to enforce it? I mean, you can complain to them all the way. They're going to bounce from little company to little company. They're going to end up winning anyway.
Yeah.
I think that's the saddest part of the whole thing.
And-
they can
and
just steal your idea.
Like Professional Monkey says, BMW is sued and lost, etc.
Yep.
You know who lets that go on, though? I mean, I'm not even going to get into politics here, but if we didn't have such bullshit enforcement of protecting our country and our workers, then they
Right.
wouldn't get away with it.
Right. Well, on another note,
Okay, moving on. So Harley-Davidson
Shake it
Homecoming.
out, honey.
If you
Shake
heard,
it out.
Shake it out. Shake it out. If you heard at the end of that last report, Harley-Davidson Homecoming to become an annual event. Well, we heard this firsthand while we were up there. Draws people from around the world, said Claire Coing with Visit Milwaukee. It helps with Milwaukee's name recognition. celebration's been held every 5 years, is making a major pivot moving forward. The company says it will now be an annual event. Let's go in depth on the change and the impact it will have on the city of festivals. From Columbia to Milwaukee, Claudia Neer and her husband rode their Harley-Davidson nearly 3,000 miles to fulfill a dream. In Columbia, Harley-Davidson is very important, she said. Harley riders representing dozens of states and countries came to Bruce City to take part in Harley-Davidson's beloved homecoming event that's full of parades, charity rides, and concerts along the lakefront. Now, the question will be, the 100th, unarguably, was the biggest event I think anyone in motorcycling has ever seen. On the 5s, comparably, I don't think anything will be like the 100th, but it's a big deal. If it happens every year, I mean, Milwaukee's a great town. Yeah, they roll out the red carpet like nobody's business. But
I loved Milwaukee. What a beautiful city. My question is, though, I don't know how it will work having it the week before Sturgis.
Yeah, it'll
like
dwindle.
There's not a gap.
Yeah.
And I don't know that people will extend their trips for that. I'm not sure.
Well,
unless the dates of Sturgis changed and we don't know.
Would they, though?
I don't think so.
It's a big question mark, but if anybody could figure it out. I mean, Harley-Davidson has such an incredible, John Baker, 100th was 14 months long as well as production. If anybody can figure it out, Harley-Davidson's partner in the city of Milwaukee. I mean, Milwaukee really, we saw, what was the street we were on?
Which one?
The crazy party street.
Brady Street.
Dude. Like, seriously, Mark, if you didn't catch the video that we did from Brady Street, there is no place I've been in the country.
It's nuts. Like, the police just stay at the ends. They don't actually go in.
Yep. They stay on both ends, and as long as nobody's killing each other, you can pretty much do whatever you want there. And I mean, I'm not saying that, all
it wasn't
chaos
lawless by any means,
no,
but it wasn't a problem stopping and doing a burnout in the middle of the street, and they had one area where that seemed to all happen. And
I'm sure they were provoking that. They wanted that to happen, though.
But it was crazy.
They were very, very tolerant, and everyone in the city is, really goes out of their way to make sure everybody that's there is having a good time. And I mean, we didn't have one bad experience the whole time we were there.
No, not at all. And I think on the day that we had to split up, one of the biggest things that I noticed on the museum campus was how far and how many different parts of the world people came from.
I'm sure.
To be part of this anniversary. There was a group of probably about 20 people from Indonesia and Brazil and just all over the world.
Well, and you wonder too.
Came.
I mean, that's the point. Will it retain that pool?
Well, they always have people from China there trying to steal some ideas.
Oh boy! And that's the news. Jane, you ignorant slut. I finally got that placed in the right spot. So, hey, we're going to take a look at
for like 5 years. We've been trying to make that happen.
We're going to take a look at the motorcycle that everyone is talking about this bike. And that's something like when you consider that even the vintage and antique crowd is talking about a new product that Harley-Davidson rolled out, they've done something special. Let's take a look at our first ride on the Highway King. When we come back on the other side, we're going to the Crazy Gentleman. Stick around. You're watching Shop Talk. Hey, this is Chris, Cycle Source Magazine, Grease and Gears TV. We're down on Juneau Avenue picking up the Highway King. Super excited to take this bike for a ride, but even more excited because I get to take you guys with me on it today. So let's get out and take this thing on a little rip. You know, one of the things right off the bat I got to get used to is that push button. The push button almost doesn't feel like you're pushing anything. Of course, I pull out to a red light right away. Now, right off of the bat, what can I tell you? The suspension is nice and tall. I'm sitting on this at 6 feet tall. A little bit bent-legged. Bike doesn't feel heavy or anything. Okay. I guess the first thing that's really surprising about this is the ergonomics. You know, everything is very spread out and comfortable, wide. Like, it doesn't feel like you're, you know, shoved into a little tight space with floorboards or hand position or anything. This one stops and starts so nice, like everything's really smooth. Boy, there's that Milwaukee 8 motor though. Damn. Incredible amount of power these bikes have. And it's a neat power. You know, previous engine families, there was a usable range, and it just seems like with the Milwaukee 8, they finally come up with a place that the power is available throughout the range. Okay, so coming back from our initial ride on the Highway King, first impressions are solid motorcycle, and a lot of fun. You know, one of the things I talked about on my test ride video was that this is kind of the best of both worlds. That late 60s, early 70s styling, but with today's performance and ergonomic technology that makes the bike comfortable, everything's in the right place. It's just really, really a pleasure to ride. And let's face it, it's cool. It's cool going down the road on something that looks like an old pan or an old shovel, you know. Couple things I noticed in traffic, we're gonna get into it more in depth once I have a chance to ask a couple questions. Both of the bikes that we're riding this weekend seem to, as you're sitting at idle, they slow down to almost like a default mode that goes into engine protect. And when you go to pull out, there's just the slightest bit of flutter. It comes and goes, so it's not like a major detractor, but I want to make sure I ask a question about that. Other than that, man, great ride, great looking motorcycle. Keep watching for more.
Thing standing between you and the open road is some garage time with the right parts and accessories to make your motorcycle roar. And that's why riders everywhere choose DennisKirk.com, the one stop you need to get your Harley back on the road. Our knowledgeable tech staff will help you navigate our more than 185,000 parts, apparel, and accessories that are ready to ship today, with free shipping on all orders over $89. So tune up your ride and get ready for the next adventure. Ride more, wait less. Dennis Kirk.
I'm Shrug Patterson. And I'm Landis Patterson. And you're watching Greasy Gears TV.
Whether riding takes you from A to B or just lets you escape, there's a flow to the road you share. So go with it. Eyes open, and always have the Law Tigers by your side. If you've been injured in a motorcycle accident, visit us at lawtigers.com. Law Tigers, America's motorcycle lawyers.
All right, welcome back to the Dennis Kirk studio. So yeah, that bike, I know Big D's up there saying you guys look better on a chopper. People were surprised that I was riding a bagger.
I can't ride that bike anyway.
Dude, when we got there, so Jen, our inside guy at HarleyDavidson, first thing she says to Heather is, Heather, this is not a 2-up motorcycle. And Heather's like, I know. And she goes, this is not a 2-up motorcycle.
I'm like, well...
Ah, shit.
The thing I did notice, she had a really nice pair of tennis shoes on.
So we talk about in the next issue of the magazine, which is going to press the beginning of this week, we talk about the reasons why, you know, way more in depth on the performance of it. And this is a neat new thing that will be available through Grease and Gears TV. If you guys haven't heard, Grease and Gears TV launching any day now. You'll be able to watch all the stuff that we do right from your television remote, Roku, Fire Stick, the whole deal. But you'll also, when you click on it, and the video comes up, there'll be a little box down here where you can download the article that comes with it. You'll get to hear all that cool stuff in the impressions we have and the full discovery. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So that bike though, seriously could turn you.
I can honestly, that's the first new bike that I've ever said that I wanted.
Yep.
Like, seriously, I would love to have that bike in our garage.
Yeah, and I think it was, 68? A 68 was 68. What it was designed after.
Yep. Yeah,
so.
Remember we went and saw one? We happened to see one.
Only 1,700 of those are going to be made, Mark. So here's the real question.
So is it an order only, or?
It's pretty much going to be a scramble to get one. But here's the big question: 1,700 of them made, and the price on it is $26,900. You know what I mean? So like.
But that's still half the price of the CVO.
Yeah, right.
It is.
In all fairness.
CVO's got.
Granted,
not
the
saying
CVO has a 12-inch LCD screen.
Yeah,
I'm like,
CVO's,
can we watch movies on it?
Yeah, it's a whole different story, though. Not saying that it's a bad bike. CVO is just over the top.
Yeah, and we got to ride that too. So we got to ride the Ultra Limited.
I bet we could
CVO.
rig it up to watch movies when we go across Canada.
Yeah,
I'll bet you could.
There's
maybe
probably
frowned upon.
There's probably something you have to turn off. Speaking of that, who was it?
Mike
Robb said that the rear cylinder turns off. You can deactivate that, but that's what I was actually talking about. Like they've had that technology. It's part of the package that keeps the engine cool in traffic and parade duty and stuff. What I noticed was when you come out of that, when you first put the throttle on, it's almost like it surges for a second. So it takes you a minute to get used to it.
It's probably that lag or toss of fuel.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So Radar, real quick, wants to brag on himself for a minute. Let's brag on Radar for Radar.
Okay, go ahead.
He rode his motorcycle straight through from Graham, North Carolina to Sturgis, South Dakota in one sitting. 1,789.3 miles, 25 hours moving, and roughly 6 hours visiting with random people.
Okay, that's awesome, but if you tell me that you did that without getting off to pee, you're lying. I'm just saying, there's no way.
Maybe you hung it out the window.
There's no...
Did you get that? You with us here?
Whatever.
All right, so our guest tonight, Heather and I picked up as a would-be hitchhiker.
I know. What a happy act. Well, it wasn't an accident, but
it really was, and it was kind of a quick ride, and but we ended up having such a great conversation with him. But we both realized when he got out of the Sprinter. No, were we in the Sprinter?
No, we were in the truck.
We're in the truck, in my truck.
Your big dumb truck.
So when we got
your 7.3,
when he got out of the 7.3, Mark.
Oh, excuse me.
When he got out of the 7.3, we noticed that
this had to be local because that thing doesn't really make it too far recently.
No, where were we?
No, we were in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Damn. That's right. I forgot.
Which is kind of local compared to most shit we do. But we realized that when he got out of the truck that we had spent the whole time talking about us. And
well, you were talking about you.
Shocking.
So we invited him to come on the show
you think I'm cute.
because he has a pretty interesting story and is literally I don't know how in such a quick amount of time he has amassed such a library of personalities from the motorcycle industry. But we have Rob the Crazy Gentleman on tonight. Let's get him on the line and check out his story.
Just hanging out in the shop is
Would
brought
you like
to you by
that?
Spectral Oils, made in the USA since 1966, the best oil on planet Earth.
What's up, man?
What's up, guys?
Oh my God! So see, this is what you're missing all the time on Shop Talk.
This is the chance when you hitchhike. This is the chance you take. You meet people like this.
Oh, yeah, that's what you get for hitchhiking.
So
yeah.
What was the deal the last time we saw you? So we're coming out of Tennessee, and you wanted to catch a ride from one spot to another. Where were you going?
Yeah, so I needed a ride to the Nashville airport, but I was also doing a podcast before the airport. And quite honestly, how you describe me, a would-be hitchhiker, is the perfect description because that is what I was ready. you guys were my last call before I left there. I was just gonna hitchhike at the end of the road. So yeah, I was going to Boswell Harley-Davidson to do a podcast with this kid Hammer, that's like their racer and mechanic there, and then fly out, man. So
Right on.
I was off to the airport.
So in the pre-show, we were talking about his history a little bit, coming into motorcycling, actually wrenching since you were 16, started your first shop of your own at 21 years old. Like, you've in short order, you've put together a hell of a life already with motorcycles.
Yeah, I kind of get obsessed with things when I do it. You know, I honestly, man, I spent like all of my 20s just in garages, just as fucking obsessed as I could be with cars and motorcycles. I kind of look back on it and wonder how the fuck I did it. Honestly, I couldn't do it again now if I wanted to. So yeah, that's really how I spent most of my 20s, man. And I started full time when I was 16, like just fully engulfed, man, just hooked.
Now, did you was that because of your family that you were involved in motorcycles and the shop atmosphere? Like, how did you find your way there at 16?
No, my family was kind of against it all, honestly. My parents are like just two regular white collar people. And I think that's the reason why I dove so hard into it. When I was a kid, I always wanted dirt bikes and stuff like that. And they would never let me get any of it. They thought it was crazy, you know? So that's all I ever wanted to do. You know, I was kind of like, why am I drawing a blank on the word here? Inspired, I guess. My grandfather was a blue collar guy. Both of them really were. And I was kind of inspired by them, you know, just both being blue collar guys that worked on their own cars and stuff. And yeah, once I got into it, man, I just dove really hard into it, being told no my whole childhood. And like shortly after I started full time at that first shop, I bought my first car, which I still own. It's a 69 Camaro.
Nice.
And my parents, that's the only thing they've ever offered to buy me my entire life. And I never took them up on it. When they heard that I wanted to buy a muscle car, they begged and pleaded. And to this day, the first time they ever offered me any money or to buy me anything was to buy me any sort of a normal car except for a muscle car. So, but obviously I didn't listen. I still haven't to this day listened to them about it. So
Chris, I think that means your theory works.
Yes. See?
I really
yeah,
do. Like, you
yeah.
want to get kids into motorcycling, tell them no.
Yeah.
They will
Yeah.
rebel and
That's
they will
what
do it
happened with
anyway.
both of our generations, his and me and Mark.
Yeah.
You know, like all this outreach bullshit and making it easier from the ride and more accessible and all that. No. Pull up and threaten them. Say, don't ever get on one of these things. They're dangerous. They suck. You
and
shouldn't
then you do a
have
burnout.
one.
And
Yeah,
they're
do
like,
a burnout and leave.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
So this is
that's since the day I was born, I've just always been like that, man. Just you tell me no or you tell me I can't do something, and every fucking fiber in me just wants to do that.
Now, this is something that actually came up in my editorial this month that I was talking about that's going to press. I talk about the fact that, you know, it seems like, and you're you know, relatively a young man to have these sentiments.
I'm 39 now.
But it seems like the younger the generations get, the less of that garage culture, the less of that like blue collar can do attitude. Get in the garage, fix shit yourself. You know, make something out of nothing. What do you see from your perspective, being a generation behind us?
I don't know, man. You're talking like you want me to speak for my generation or what I see from younger kids now?
Yeah, what you see from your generation younger.
Well, I consider myself like the last cutoff of a generation that grew up without cell phones and kind of like just caught the tail end of all of that, man. Like cheap muscle cars, cheap motorcycles, stuff like that. I think I caught the last generation of like that whole, you know, nothing's safe. There's no fucking participation trophies. and I believe in that, man. I don't think everyone should get a participation trophy or anything, you know.
Amen.
You know, I'm a pretty small guy, so I always grew up like having to fight for a lot of shit and getting made fun of, and I think it made a tough kid out of me, you know. Especially in New York, man. Like there was a lot of fucking fighting when I was younger, you know, and I think it toughens people up, man. You know,
Hey,
I think
dude, listen, no shit. My boy sitting right here, Mark. He was always one of the smallest guys in our crowd, and like, you know, remember I told you in pre-show I bounced at a titty bar that his in-laws owned, and he would be there. And I was at the time I was 320 pounds. I was the smallest guy by 100 pounds. They were giant, all ex-football players. They kept me there so I could get through the crowd fast. And then there'd be Mark. You know what I mean? And like,
I was the provoker though.
And as sure as shit, when something would go wrong, we'd get 15 guys on this side of the stage fighting with 15 guys that side of the stage. They'd pick Mark out of the crowd and say, and you.
Yeah, they'd come right after me first. It was always a lot of fun because, you know, I enjoyed it. But I agree with you. I think that the more you push somebody against something, the more they're going to want to do it. And then on the other hand, the non-trophy life, the fighting for what you need and what you have to have, that creates a stronger backbone, maybe a more of a desire to push and make it happen.
Well, that I think you, in a lot of ways, you value it more too.
Right.
Because you had to earn it.
Yep.
Oh yeah. And you know, it's funny too, man, being from the East Coast, you see a lot more of that grit, you know?
Yeah. You do, yeah.
You kind of lose that as you head out west.
Nothing's buttered over.
That.
Nothing's buttered over in the East.
Right.
And not cutting out the West at all. Don't get me wrong. Not saying they're weaker or anything like that, but in the long run, I agree with you. I think that it could make it in the West. In the East, it's a good possibility it might not.
Yeah.
I think, well, in the Midwest, I think they have a different kind of grit.
There's definitely grit there too.
Oh,
They
yeah.
have, but it's a different kind of grit.
Yeah, that's backbone. That's work
Yeah.
right there. Those guys had, you know, that was the Fields people. So, you know, I totally agree with you. The Midwest is a lot more like maybe the East than the West for sure. But yeah, I agree with you 100%.
I've always expressed a lot of love for the Midwest too, especially in terms of their motorcycle style.
Work ethic.
There's something I love about the blue collar style there too.
Yeah, it's very drag race centric.
Yeah,
like very performance oriented. Always was like that's
pride,
you know,
a lot of pride.
Donnie Smith Brothers Fetro, the stuff that came out of there forever was always based in performance.
Yeah.
And funny, we were talking about that East-West. The majority of the stuff that, like me and Chris built, is West Coast chopper style stuff. You know, more of the California long bike stuff like that. And then, you know, here we are talking about the East is more grit. Maybe it wasn't easier to do the West Coast style, but I do think that pride factor of proving that we could do it here in the East. Yeah. We kid around a lot about, you know, we invite friends over here to go riding with us, and like half them sons of bitches end up wrecking. So, because they're not used to how we ride over here, not used to the hills, and they're like, "Oh, you guys have front brakes." Well, yeah, guess what? Go for a ride where we live. And now look, every bike we have doesn't have a front brake.
Right.
So,
and now we're doing it all without the brakes.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Lindsay Haletta says it's a little more polite of an ass kicking out there. Like, yeah, it's a little more bless your heart.
Yeah, maybe it is.
So when we were talking about how many different personalities you captured in the realm of doing your podcast, let's get started for a little bit first and talk about how you got the idea, how you got started on wanting to do a motorcycle podcast.
I've basically been living this life for like 15 to 20 years now. And I always looked at it as like, I see everyone else doing this and, you know, capturing on YouTube or podcasts and stuff. And I, like anything else I do, I just figured like, why not me? You know, like, I mean, I know a lot of these guys that have been on my podcast for many years. I don't know, man. I just always figured like, why not just start this shit and see where it goes, you know? Why not like start to, I guess, I don't want to say live a life of service, but like, I don't know, why not get some recognition or do something for, like, make something of this, you know, instead of just wandering around this country for no reason, you know? I don't know.
Well, and I'll tell you what, like it's something that we talk about all the time too, having the realization, a lot of people from my generation, Mark's generation, will bitch about the technology and how things have evolved and the things that we've lost, but the things that we've gained with people like you out there, you've captured the faces and voices like so much more than we were ever able to before. When you go through the library of people that you've had on to have a conversation with, that's forever. I mean, you're archiving part of our culture forever.
Yeah, that's another part of it too. And I think we even touched on this on that ride from Loretta's place. I like the idea of capturing this forever, like archiving this lifestyle, which is what the magazines do too. But I like the idea of that. I really like the guys that do it with photography also, which even though I'm not into photography, those guys have also inspired me.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys were friends with Shovelhead Austin. Mm-hmm. He's a New York-based guy. He died last year, but he's another huge inspiration of mine, man. He did this shit from the 60s, just on the streets of New York, or even guys like Michael Lichter. Mm-hmm. I just feel like capturing this lifestyle, this special time and place is necessary, otherwise it's just dust in the wind, man.
Well, and it's very fleeting too. I mean, I think, we talked about this for a minute in the pre-show about how during COVID, we all sort of took a step back and said, hey, wait a minute, because we had all reached a dynamo of sorts with our lives and going after all this shit. And COVID was the great reset that we all, stepped back and said, wait a minute, what have we been doing here? We're watching life fly by. And once we had something that made us stop and made us pay attention for a minute, so many people have drastically changed their life since then.
Oh, absolutely. And I think part of it too made us realize that we're not going to be here forever, and neither are the people that paved the way for people like you, Chris, and Rob, and the Sugar Bears and Dave Perowitz and Donnie Smiths and the Arlens. They, like, if we're not recording their history and their story now,
isn't it a shame? I think about that all the time. Like the guys that in our generation, even though we did as much as we could through magazine and everything else, imagine if we would have had the technology that we have today, that you'd be able to go back and sit down for a conversation
and just
with Harlan,
hear them tell their stories.
Yeah, man.
Like to sit down, with Sugar Bear and just and hear it in his own words and his own voice. And
I mean, luckily, Sugar Bear, you still can. So.
I know. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Before we get phone calls saying, hey, dumbass, Sugar Bear's still alive.
Oh, that was horrible. And we had nothing to do with it, just for the record.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
You know what's funny? You mention a lot of those names, and it'll come out in a few weeks. A podcast with Jody and Dave Perowitz, like separate podcasts. But one of the first questions I asked Dave was, what was it like to have started hanging out with Harlan Ness before both of you guys were what you were,
Yeah.
It's just one of those things, like trying to capture that time and place in history.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been amazing to get back then.
And
that Donnie Smith conversation was awesome for that. Like, and again, that was one of the cool things to be able to ask that question. And the nice part about it, I think maybe the cool thing now that like people like Donnie and Dave are a bit older, they answer you honestly.
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Like, dude, you don't get any butter, nothing. Like, if they didn't like something, they come right out and say it because they've progressed far enough into this that they don't give a shit. You know what I mean?
Well,
they're going to tell you the truth.
A lot of our friends, they'll through the years have been super critical of the hamsters because they don't really understand it. But
Right.
when you think about those guys, like you said right there, what was it like for Dave to start hanging out with Harlan Ness before either of them were anything? People forget the fact that like those guys were kids. They were kids that had shitty old choppers in the back of vans and were riding from town to town trying to figure out how to make it. Like I remember Dave
they
telling
pile 8 people into a hotel room because they wanted to bond. They couldn't afford it.
Right.
I remember Dave telling me and Mark one time about when he finally slowed down for a minute and calculated what he was spending on materials doing paint jobs. He was doing so many fucking paint jobs. He didn't realize that he was losing money on every one of them. But there was such a volume coming through that like it was
Didn't
just
matter,
rocking and
yeah.
rocking. And once he stopped and figured it out, he had to raise his prices. He was like, Jesus, I'm losing money.
You almost said that in Dave's voice.
Yeah.
Right.
I was waiting for you to bust out your Dave. I was waiting.
Nope, not happening. Forget it.
Come on.
No.
Dave's senior Dave.
Oh, yes, he has.
I'm not doing it.
So you've been doing this for about 3 years now. Do you have one particular episode that's like, man, I'm so glad I did that? Like, do you have that one that will resonate with you forever?
Man, honestly, probably Dave Perowitz.
Yeah.
But like I said, in a few weeks, it'll be out. I got a backlog of like 12 shows right now, but I'm going to release Dave's pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm excited. I want to hear that one. He's a
I'm really proud of that one, honestly.
He's a hoot, too. He's so much fun.
You know?
Oh, he's the fucking best, dude. He's the best. Yeah, I don't know. I'm drawing a blank, but there's a few that I am really proud of. I'm just drawing a blank. I should probably just go back and look quick. Yeah, I don't know. There's so many.
Let's not
I
make it
forget
easy.
sometimes. What was that?
Let's not make it easy. Don't go back and check.
Look at Kenny.
Let's guess. Just guess.
Oh man, yeah. I don't know. I'm pretty proud of the first one that I released with Bare Knuckle Paul. You know, I don't know. Man, there's been a few cool ones, but quite honestly, I'm not too proud of some of them. When I was drinking, I got way too fucking drunk on some of them. Just fucked it all up.
But you know, that's how you learn, and your honesty, like,
right.
and the fact that you can go back and be like, man, what a jackass I was.
Dude, one of the ones that I want to go back and listen to now, like having got to know you a little bit and talk to you, is you and Big Truth. I want to hear this. I want to hear this episode. He's one of my of my favorite personalities. He really is.
Yeah, that was definitely a good one. Yeah, I feel like the best of shows for me and Truth are yet to come.
Yeah.
Because I've known Truth for like probably close to 20 years now.
No kidding.
Yeah, I met him through, do you guys know Big Nick, who also just recently died? Did you guys ever get a chance to meet him? Industry Customs?
No, he doesn't.
So that's how I met Big Truth, and him and Truth were like best friends, man. But that was like when Nick was still in New York. He moved to California for like the last 10 years. But yeah, I've known Truth for quite a while, man.
There's another one of my favorite people on planet Earth.
Oh,
Stacey.
man.
Stacey, yeah, what a great guy he is.
Yeah, I fell in love with him the minute I met him, man.
Oh, yeah.
What an amazing guy.
Him and his wife are fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, buddy. A lot of our friends there. A lot of our friends. Old Chopper
No Char
Charlie.
Weasel. He's one of my favorites too. There's a guy that the first couple times I met him, I didn't think he had a voice box.
Right.
And then one day we were going to pick up Will Ramsey and Jeff Cochran. Will's bike broke down and he rode along with us, and like, dude, he never shut up the whole time. And it was so awesome. He is probably, him and Dana spent the whole weekend together at Cycle Showcase last year and this past year, and he was so much fun. He is such a great guy to hang out with, and his stories, his rides are phenomenal. He's like second to none.
So
Yeah.
here's my next question for you though. Is there a mission statement now? Like, I get it, because in the beginning of Cycle Source, there was a lot of, and I'll be completely honest, like, we started the magazine because it was a great way to get into the parties for free. We got to take pictures of chicks
they
that
used
were,
to ask us to leave the parties half the time.
but we got in for free to start out with. And I understand like the evolution that comes along. Like, eventually you start to see through the haze of everything and you go, okay, what am I doing here? So have you got to a place where there's actually a mission statement for what you do?
I never really had one. I kind of still don't. I've been getting into a lot of the parties for free before all this. I don't know, man. I don't really have one now. The only thing I do know is I'm absolutely loving it and I'm not going to stop. And I don't know. I'm just here to see where it goes. There's no real plan or mission statement or anything except keep going, man. I don't want to stop until I'm at the top.
Right on.
That's it. And I don't even know what the top means, really. That's just some shit I just spit out. But I don't know. I just want to keep going. I know this, like you said, post-COVID, I don't want to do anything at this point in my life that I don't absolutely love.
Amen.
And I love this, so I'm just going to keep doing it.
Can I get an amen?
That's it. What is so your website, we're going to put this up on the screen for everybody. Heather will put the link up. What can we do? What can all the listeners right now, what can they do to support, to help you through to the next stage of this?
Right now they could go join my Patreon. And they could also go to the bumpshopbackroom.com and buy some merch.
Right on.
That'd be the only support right now. Unless you're a company listening and you want to back me up, we could talk about that as a sponsorship. But that's about it. It's funny you asked that too with the whole mission statement thing. One of the things I said when I started all this was I'm kind of not going to take it serious for the first 50 episodes. I'm just going to have fun, and I'll see if people are actually listening to see if I'll keep going. And that all happened, and I said I'll figure that all out after 50 episodes. And I'm coming up, I think, on 80 now, and I'm just kind of starting to put all that together. I don't know, man. I'm just kind of loosely taking all that as it comes in terms of like support and all that. Just barely starting to figure all that out.
Well, so, I'll tell you what, buddy, whenever you do figure out the two things, what the top is and what the next step is, please get back in touch with all of us, because we're waiting to figure it out too, 27 years later, and it's no clearer for us. So if that helps you out at all.
Yeah, it's funny. I kind of thought about that while I was talking to Perowitz, and I kind of said in my head, as far as I'm concerned, just being able to have a conversation with a guy like that and walk through the whole history, and your truck was one of those moments where like all that ever comes up of this podcast, and I don't ever make $1 of it, just being able to sit in a room or a truck with you guys and have those conversations and be able to like walk through those doors is all that ever comes of this. To me, that's worth all the gold in the world. So, I mean, I guess maybe I kind of sort of reached the top already. I don't know.
It's sort of funny that you say that, because like after all the years of all the crap we've been through and stuff, there was, to me, that point of where you got to the top when you have somebody that you looked up to all the years say to you, hey, thank you for taking the reins, or thank you for being that person, was Stag in Laconia for me. Like to have somebody like him from Psycho Cycles, crazy. I mean, you look at Stag and you're like, dude, he's the over the edge guy,
one of the OGs.
Yeah, and like he looked at us that night, and he's like, man, you guys are the effing real deal. He said, like, to look back, there's not many people. So like you're saying, man, to be able to be in a position just to spend the weekend with him and him and English Dawn, and like, dude, we had such a that was probably the highlight. It could have ended for me right there. To sit down.
It almost did.
Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly. To sit down with with those two that weekend, to me was like, man, this is the top, and again, we've had 10 more tops since then. So the top is only what you make it, I guess. But, it's cool that you find somebody like Dave, an inspirational person that you talk to. But man, there's going to be 80 more Daves by the time this is over for you.
Right. So as far as I'm concerned, you can't put a price on those moments.
Yeah. Right.
Yep. Yes, sir. There's in case you missed this going by in the chat box on the side, Anthony Robinson from Gasoline and Coffee actually said reach out to him, so you might actually
we like coffee, Anthony.
Yeah, but this is his deal. So Anthony
I just want
Robinson,
the coffee.
He wants you to reach out, so you might have picked up a sponsor tonight. There you go.
That sounds awesome. I basically live on those two things, so that works out.
So send either gasoline or coffee.
Oh God! If somebody just throw some weed in there, I'd be in.
Weed.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, now, well, listen, thank you so much for taking some time with us tonight. Heather's going to put up the links for all of your stuff, the YouTube channel, your website. Go check them out. Go listen to the podcast.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, as soon as you get that Dave Pirowitz podcast up, let us know, and we're going to repost a notification to tell people to get out to your site to check it out.
We love us some DP.
Yeah. Dave's
Absolutely.
cool as shit.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much.
Yes, sir.
And thank you so much for that ride too. Honestly, it was more than just the ride that was so special to me, man. I really appreciate you guys.
Anytime, wherever we are, you always have a place with us. Doesn't matter.
Very nice
Thank
getting
you
to
so
know
much.
you, my man.
Yeah, absolutely. Likewise. Hope there's much more in the future.
Everybody else, learn your lesson. Don't pick up hitchhikers. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, man. We'll catch you out on the road. You going to be in Sturgis?
No, but I'll be at Fuel next week.
Okay, we'll see you at Fuel.
next week.
All right, cool.
All right, buddy. Take it
care.
easy.
Have a good night, guys.
See ya.
Hey, see, just about the time we start bitching about the next generation,
I
there you
know.
go. It's all good in hands like that.
The world needs more.
Gasoline and coffee,
Yeah.
garage time.
Yes.
Hey, you know what the world needs?
Oh boy.
More shop talk. And after we check out,
What about cowbell?
no, not more cowbell, but after we
Well,
check
there's more
out
cowbell.
this cool feature bike, we're going to come back on the other side and we're going to bring you more shop talk. And cowbell.
Out of Focus is brought to you by Garage Build. Submit your build, share your passion. Powered by Dennis Kirk.
My name is Jason Mook. I own Deadwood Custom Cycles in Deadwood, South Dakota. This chopper is my bike. It's a bike that I built for myself, which I don't honestly do that much anymore. Most of the bikes I build are to sell or for customers. So I built this one for myself. I love choppers. I've had quite a few. This one came as a result of a guy actually owed me money. And he owed me a couple $100, and he brought me this Paco Springer and asked if his bill could get clear. And I don't know, I guess he didn't know what he had. And I said, yes, absolutely. And so I called Paco and asked him to make me a frame to match it. The real special part about this bike is I have a very good friend. His name's Clay Mueller. And Clay Mueller was a fabricator, is a fabricator and a welder, and worked at my shop in Charleston and worked with me in Deadwood. And this is a collaboration of him and I. You know, we did this bike together, and it's just very special. All the handmade custom pieces, one-off things that we made. Not a lot of stuff off of the shelf here. I mean, even the kicker arm was, you know, modified to be a little bit shorter. But it's just it's exactly what I like. Not a lot of chrome, a lot of brass, a little bit of brass plating. And nothing on it that doesn't make it fun. I don't know. I believe in karma, you know, and I believe in you put good things out there, you get good things back. And so this bike is just good mojo. Good mojo for me. It's good mojo for everybody. I want people to feel good when they see it and just spread the mojo, spread the good love, you know. This tank is started out as nothing. Obviously, a couple flat pieces of steel. And my guy Clay I was telling you about, I rebuilt his motor with a bunch of hot rod stuff, and I was talking back and forth about this idea I had for this tank, and he I was actually gone out of town for a couple days, and I came back, and this thing was 95% done. From nothing. Clay, I guess in exchange for me hot rodding his motor, decided to create this, which was my vision off of a napkin, and he turned a bunch of flat steel into this, and I absolutely love it. And the thing about it, the beauty of this thing is that when you're going down the road You just glance down and you just get this, just awe of Clay's talent with that. A lot of time on the lathe, as you can probably tell. But the one thing, it was just recently, I understand the use of zip ties. We all know what a zip tie is. It holds the wire in place next to the frame and whatnot. And zip ties are great for stock bikes, right? They serve their purpose. Harley-Davidson actually makes the best ones with a little metal tab. But I didn't want to use one single zip tie on this bike. And so one of my guys, Tyler, who is a young, aspiring technician, bike builder, and he's just incredibly talented. I charged him with, hey, I don't want to use one single zip tie on this bike. So if you look at it and look close, you will see brass plate and safety wire all over the bike in place of zip ties. And the funny part about that is I made a post about that on social media, and a guy was like, why didn't you just do it black so it blends in? And the answer to that is I didn't want it to blend in. I want it to stand out. Any monkey can put a zip tie on the bike and hold the wire in place. But what Tyler did with all the little unique pieces of brass and safety wire and welding rod just gave it more style and character. So it's not just a functional thing, it adds form to the bike as well. Make no bones about the fact that I'm best in a team environment, and I have a vision and I do a lot of it myself, but I have a lot of help because I got really good guys around me. My name is Jason Mook. I own Deadwood Custom Cycles, and you're watching Shop Talk.
Everything we do at the track shapes what we build for the street and the dirt.
You can see how bad these guys want it. A race to the line.
For us, racing is not for the trophies or the glory. We compete because it makes everything we do faster, more durable, and tested to a higher standard. For S&S, racing is the ultimate in proven performance, and we've been proving it since 1958.
My name is Mike Rabideau with Magic Mike's Designs, and you're watching Grease and Gears TV.
Welcome back to the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio. That's where it's at, right there. Got to get one of them. We've been using that stuff all over the studio, out in the garage.
Sometimes it works almost a little too good. The magnet.
Yeah. It works very good on the bike. So, Jason Mook's bike, one of the Chopper Friends Throwdown bikes, I'm still like, just that trip was put me over the moon, man. Like, I still think back to all of us going out there for the second year in a row, and like, just so much fun.
And what a test, like, for your first full custom frame.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we're going to ride it down the mountain on horrible roads and hope it holds up. No, it was great.
Yeah. Drew Scotchless, what's the play? Stay in Cleveland or stay close to Bath for next weekend? We're
Cleveland-ish.
Yeah, Cleveland's
If you
a blast.
go on Fuel Cleveland website, they have links to hotels in the area. So I would follow their recommendations.
Radar Chrome won't get you home, but zip ties will get you to your buddy's place.
Zip ties, if your chick drank too much, maybe some ratchet straps.
So, hey,
bungees.
we have this new thing coming up, Grease and Gears TV. And
that thing.
any day now you'll be able to watch. So let's give you a little preview of what's going on over there. I guess I could turn it up. Hey, welcome to Grease and Gears TV, the home of two-wheel entertainment. For a lot of you, this is going to be your first time here, and we welcome you. Want to take a minute and take you around the network and show you what Grease and Gears is all about. Grease and Gears is a new experiment in a different way to deliver media, especially for motorcycle consumers. This is going to be the place where you can come and find a one-stop shop approach towards all of your favorite content providers, all in one place, 24/7, and you can watch it right from your couch. Just pick up that remote through Roku TV or Amazon Fire Stick, and you're tuned in to Grease and Gears. So let's talk about some of the programming. Everything that you would expect for a motorcycle enthusiast. Okay, so let's talk. Let's talk about some of the programming. So, Mark, you're going to be famous.
Who?
You are.
No way.
I'm telling you now, dude. Telling you now.
I quit then.
Under the tech department, you're all over the place.
Oh,
Look at you.
Oh my goodness.
You know, we've done a lot of tech together over the years.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, imagine over.
This was one of the best, though. I love the text where we had to tell people, "Hey, do not do this.
Right.
So
Do not
try this at home.
Do not do the shit we're doing
Just
right now."
because we do this doesn't mean you should.
Yeah, no, maybe not.
Ah, Jesus. So, Grease and Gears TV, collection of content creators. You know, a lot of people like Professional Monkey, Kevin Baxter, Jason Sims, the BRL stuff, everything we can throw on this. And one of the benefits is it's commercial free.
Yes.
So a lot of good stuff we're going to be
gonna be
doing specifically for subscribers to that network. And we're open to any content creators in the motorcycle
Yes.
world. So if you're out there and you're looking to be part of what we're doing,
And it's
get a
all
hold of
types
us.
of motorcycling. Like, everything is welcome on Grease and Gears TV, except made up, fabricated bullshit drama. Just saying.
Damn it. I'm out.
Plenty of that right here.
You know, I think one of the coolest things about it is, you know, I don't know, you know, looking into it deeper as you get involved. If you're building a pan head or you're building a shovel head, man, you can actually go and watch, you know, bolt by bolt, you know, in, together, out, you know, everything that you need just for that fact. And then, of course, you know, whatever drama I can bring to the table, I'm going to give it my best shot. But I think it's going to give you a lot of information, a lot of tech, and so much more.
Can you guys imagine if we had the technology
Oh my God!
back when you guys were doing Libnicula? If
Oh,
we had the
dude.
technology on our phones,
I think we
and
need
with
to
the
bring some of
cameras-
that back, though. We need to
we
bring
do.
back like the Burnout King. Remember the
Yep.
Burnout King?
Oh, yeah,
No.
do I?
Rest in peace, Burnout King. He died.
I know he did.
He almost died
He
that
almost
night.
died that night.
Yeah.
I know,
right.
but he did. He actually
Yes,
got
he did.
murdered.
Yeah, that's odd.
Yeah.
God, thank God. I mean, we've been
So-
saying for years we wish cameras were following us around. Could you imagine? We'd be in
good
jail.
Lord.
Thank God that they didn't. But here's some of the stuff that will be going on. Like there will be several reports from Sturgis that will be live to Grease and Gears TV. That is the only place that you'll see it. So
Now, keep in
specialized content that will go out every week. You can see ShopTalk, all of that stuff. But there's a lot of stuff that ends up on here.
Yep.
The only place you're going to see it is
Yep.
coming through Grease and
So
Gears TV.
the apps are being built right now. They're getting ready for us to review. We are pushing to have this launched 100% in Sturgis. We will keep you posted. Right now it is.
And that's the general consensus here in the studio.
Yes. Right now it is web-based only, but once we hard launch, it will be on Amazon Fire Stick, Roku, iOS, and Android.
Yeah, Pornhub for bikers. That's
awesome.
it, baby. That's it. And
exactly
I've
what
been,
it is.
dude, I'm so using that because I've been saying the whole time it's kind of like Netflix for bikers.
Yeah,
Pornhub
no.
for bikers is so much better.
We actually said that. We were talking about that in the garage the other night.
Dual
Yeah,
stereo,
same thing.
definitely going on my Roku.
Right on.
Sweet mother of coffee beans. Right on.
Well, I can't wait. I'm so excited. So yeah, we are content creators can hit us up.
Yeah, and the way we're doing that, just to be clear, we're not greedy corporate sons of bitches, so we have a revenue share program. If we make money on this, we want to pass it on to you guys. That's the whole point of it, is without the benefit of the many commercials that go on other social networks. We're going to try to develop some money so that people that are making honest motorcycle content get a buck here and there.
And that's not to say we're gonna take everybody's stuff.
Hallman, you lying son of a bitch.
I've seen him on Pornhub. Who is he kidding?
We've been in the meetings. So next, also coming up in short order, the Smokeout.
Oh boy.
Yeah, buddy. Cannot wait. Cannot wait. As excited as I am to get the Sturgis, cannot wait to get the
Can we start
Smokeout.
announcing bands this week?
We
Are we
can
gonna make those announcements?
We could actually, you could actually start talking about some of them now. I want to say one band name. Let me say it.
Oh boy.
I
We
know
are.
what band.
Are you getting ready, Mark?
Do your drum roll. Do you have a drum roll?
We're having the Poontanglers at Smokeout. The Poontanglers are playing Smokeout. I am so excited. I can't even tell you.
Yeah. Oh boy.
First of all, they actually are a killer band, but we were gonna book them just for the name. I'm not gonna lie. And it just so happens that they are awesome, so it's like a double bonus.
The Poontanglers live at Sturgis or at Smokeout.
Jason, I don't even know what that is, and I don't think I want to know.
What's he doing now?
Red Tube. Wait, Red Tube. Isn't that just like a regular video rental place?
I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
That's
I'm
Red
kind of
Box.
scared.
If you have a red tube, does it result in a red box? Or
Hell, all matters
Okay,
how you use
moving
it.
on.
So anyway, let's get back to the Poontanglers.
Thanks,
then.
Jason.
You can check it out.
Completely derail the show.
You can check it out at smokeoutrally.com.
It'll be all right.
We're going to be announcing everything in short order here. We were trying to wait until we got all packed up and ready for the Sturgis rally, which Sturgis is going to be mind-blowing.
It's like in a minute. Good
know.
Lord, help me.
Chris, please let me be some B-roll on the new show. I think I'm
Be some
sexy, and I
B-roll?
like helping you pull your buddies out of the mud. You are
You
B-roll.
are B-roll
You
radar.
are B-roll radar. You're on the new show.
B team.
Don't start that shit again. Speaking of revolutions, Jesus.
Oh boy.
So we're running along in the tooth here, but are we doing events tonight?
We can.
We can do events tonight.
Let's
are
do
you-
events
are
tonight.
you
It's been a
prepared?
little bit.
Are
I
you
am
prepared?
I will be prepared when you open the screen.
Okay, and this is Events
boy.
with Heather. The Shop Talk events calendar is brought to you by the Bikers Info app, the Everything Bikers app, all in one place, everything you need, and it's free.
That's not right.
What?
That's already happened.
That's
I
what you
deleted
have up.
that.
No, you didn't.
Well, move on.
Well, let's talk about it anyway.
That's
Move on.
also,
What
you
is
just
going on here?
It's so hard to find good help.
I know. There it
Feel
is.
So how
Cleveland.
was the Foo Fighters anyway?
Jeepers.
You know, let's talk about that for a minute. So, listen, it's a talk show. Damn it.
We're talking.
Out of Focus is
Let's
brought
talk
to you
about
Well,
no,
you
no,
obviously
no.
don't know what button to push. So
We're out of
producer
focus.
you are.
Mike Draco, only at 72 minutes.
Oh, we can go on.
Really?
Trust me.
Yeah, please
So-
don't say
Are
that.
you sure?
What's he
Is Sturgis
bored?
still happening?
So here's the thing.
The
Billy,
Foo Fighters
Billy,
didn't suck.
Billy, what's his
until-
nuts took the stage.
Billy, what's his nuts?
Yeah,
Don't
That
know
would
his
be.
name.
Green Day.
Oh yeah, whatever.
Oh yeah.
And
Green
we
Day.
had the time to listen to him whine, and it was actually surprising.
But that he whined or he didn't?
No,
whine?
that it was really, really good. They were real. The musicianship was great.
Yes.
The crowd was really into it right up until the point that as we were walking out because we were tired and old, and he started saying something about how electric motorcycles are better, and I
Whatever.
swear to God, if I'd had the energy left in my soul, I wanted to rush the stage and drag him off of it. But other than that, it was great. Foo Fighters, dude, was a mob scene.
Oh, it
Oh,
was,
was it?
crazy.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
I would have figured no less. So
It
Couldn't
was
believe it.
crazy.
yeah, that Dave Grohl has it all going on right now. They just
So
posted a video here not long ago that he pulled a 12-year-old kid up on stage, and
Oh, dude, I
Yes.
saw
I
it.
love that video. Like
They
he
did
does it
that
all the
at-
time.
Billy did that.
Yeah, Green Day did
Yeah,
that.
it
And I'll
was
tell
really
you,
cool.
it was awesome.
Yeah. It
was
it
really
was
cool.
so good. And the girl, like, she had no qualms about taking that mic right out
Yeah,
of his
that's how
hand.
this
And
little
she was
kid
like,
was.
I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
this. Hang on.
Yeah, this kid played guitar, and man, he wrecked it. It was awesome.
So good.
Yeah.
But
Steve
I'm-
Burrell's not a fan of Green Day.
I'm not really a big fan of Green Day myself either, Poppy. But I am a huge fan of Dave Grohl. So,
I am a fan of Green Day. I like their music. His politics suck ass.
That's my problem with
Yeah.
him. He needs to shut his mouth and play music.
Yeah.
So back to Heather and the events. Are you ready?
Are you sure?
I am.
That's
Maybe
Look
I
at
don't
that.
want to do them now.
Okay, too bad. Let's
All right,
move.
so you got to go.
Fine.
Bye, Felicia.
Biker.
Anyway, next weekend, Fuel Cleveland-ish
God, I wanna go
at
that
Hale
bad.
Farm in Bath, Ohio. They made it. It's been such an amazing turnout the past couple years that they made it not 1 but 2 days. We're gonna have a booth set up there where you can get some smoke out stuff, some grease and gear stuff, some
Stickers.
Cyclosaur stuff, stickers.
Somebody say hooker?
So huge thanks to Brandon Hoffman and his wife. They're going to be manning that booth for us. Chris and I are going to pop out there on Saturday, and we hope to see some of you.
You will get to see the Black Beauty.
Don't believe
You get to
anything
see
Brandon
Hookin' and
says.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, listen.
Unless it's about how awesome Smokeout is. But I just want to tell you, next Saturday at Fuel Cleveland, make sure you wish Boss Man here, Chris, a happy 100th birthday.
yeah, he is like
What?
86 or something
It's
like
your
that.
next
now?
Saturday's your birthday.
But it's not my 100th birthday.
Close
Okay.
enough.
You rotten evil woman.
Once you get over 50, it's all downhill. It doesn't matter. Somebody told me the other day I have less days ahead of me than I do behind me now.
Who would say that to you?
I've just
Dana.
That's
funny.
Are you kidding me? Who would say it to me? It's always the ones you love.
I need to remember that.
Son of a biscuit.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, God.
Oh, Dana, you're awesome.
Now that we got that over with.
Yeah. Let's go back to the events. Sturgis, Sunday,
I don't know, I'm
August
still-
6th.
I'm still
Our bike
stuck on
show.
Fuel Cleveland.
Win this
Oh, you
roller.
ruined it for me. I can't
30
do it.
classes, free to
There
enter,
you
trophies and prizes for everybody. It's going to be
Heather,
awesome.
are you sick? Your voice sounds really weird.
I can't stop laughing. Oh,
Vintage
Monday.
Motorcycle Day, Monday, August 7th.
I got this. You shut up.
Shut your mouth
You shut your dirty
while you
mouth.
talk to me.
Monday, August 7th, Vintage Motorcycle Day at the Iron Horse Saloon. Free lunch for all AMCA card-carrying members. We're going to do some old-time field games. It's one of my favorite days in Sturgis.
Okay, wait a minute. We got to go back to the comments for a minute. Road King says, from what I've heard, the live wire can't even be parked in the showrooms. The batteries are supposedly blowing up.
I did hear that. They were catching on
Dear
fire.
God, anyone who has actual proof of that, please get a hold of us. If you have video, there's cash money. Not much, but there is-
$2.
Yeah, two. I
I
go
have
to
a $2 bill.
$27.50. I'm solid $27.50 on that, bro. I'm just saying.
I have a $2 bill I can
Poppy,
put up.
the average life expectancy of man is 74 years. Well, I'm
So
screwed.
Poppy did this trick with me, and I'll never forgive him for it. He pulled out a tape measure.
Oh, boy.
And he took it out to 80 inches. Right?
Oh, yeah. Well,
Is
And he
that
said-
when you
thing.
learned you were very wrong?
And he said, yeah, well, he said, put your finger on your age. And when you do, and you look down at that tape measure and realize all of those numbers that are gone.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
It's painful.
Yep.
Take advantage of it.
Dill
quit.
Stereo said he'll chip in $50 for that video. So we're up to $77.50 right now.
And my $2, $79.50.
$79.50. Listen, I'll round it out. Solid $80. $80 for a video of a Harley Livewire battery blowing up in a showroom.
Dude, that'd be so awesome.
Just battery blowing up anywhere. Even if you made it
Yeah.
happen. Oh, I'm going to get sued for this shit. Back to Heather and the events.
Good Lord, help me now. We already did that.
Wow.
Also on Monday, this is where the problem comes in Sturgis. You have to be able to split your time and do a little bit of this and a little bit of that because there's so much cool stuff going on. Also, Monday, Poppy's show at the Full Throttle Saloon, old school chopper show, bazillions of prizes and giveaways, and it's free. So
trying to make it there for that.
I understand they're giving a bitchin' Springer away from Mid USA.
Really?
Yep.
Well,
one of the many prizes.
I know, that's pretty cool. Poppy, I need help with prizes. Tanya, I need help with prizes.
Wow, is this still wrong? Is it really?
Yeah, just go buy it.
No, this is our industry party.
Hey, when I swipe, you're supposed to swipe.
Oh, okay. One of those deals. That's
go.
what that meant. I thought there was a fly on your desk.
Burnout Drags, we got news about this. Cash prize.
Baker is putting up gift certificates, big money gift certificates for the Tuesday night Baker Burnout Drags at the Iron Horse Saloon. Heads up bracket racing. Like,
Can you say the amount?
No.
Really?
Do we have anything we can blow up
there?
Because
it's a lot.
It is over $200.
Booyah!
It's over $300.
Booyah!
It could be anywhere between 500 or 200 and $1 million, somewhere in there.
Wow, you narrowed it.
I said it could be between there.
She just told you. She almost head bobbed on you.
But she
there.
didn't really tell
Mike
anybody
Robb
else.
has a video. Hold on.
No.
Stop the press. I don't know what it's of. I'm scared, but I'm gonna click it because I can.
Wait a minute.
Hold on.
Are we actually going to pay out the $80?
It's a live wire on
my
fire.
God.
Oh boy.
I like this dude didn't even try putting out. He
He's
just
like,
lit his
"Oh,
phone
boy."
up. He's like, I'm taking a picture of this shit.
Now that's a live wire.
That they're live. Yeah, well, I've heard multiple.
Mike Robb, please send your information to Heather so she can get you your $80. You don't want the money. Come on. We got to keep it honest.
How about we give you? How about
a free
Grease and
shirt?
Gears?
Yeah, free Grease and Gears
How about
TV
Grease
shirt.
and Gears? Grease and Gears shirt.
That's awesome.
Fire. Jason Holman, my best Beavis and Butthead. Yeah.
Dude.
What the hell?
Speaking
what the
of
hell is that?
Speaking of cool things.
Hey, Beavis, it's my live wire.
Oh, $50 has to be in the dealership.
Oh.
We'll still pay for it because this is pretty badass.
I will still censor. Mike Robb, you got a sidecar with your Highway King, didn't you?
That was last year in Daytona. Either way, burn, sucker. How's that thing treating the environment? That's what I want to know. How's that going? How's that working out for you?
The 30 kids with half fingers and feet for getting the material to make the batteries, first off.
All right.
Speaking of moving things, knows Tony Bennett passing away this week.
Dude.
Super sad.
So sad.
To read Randy Nolge's post about that was absolutely awesome. That Randy is such a great guy, and
yes, he is.
For what he had said about Tony Bennett and some of the experiences Randy's gone through in his life, and to pick Tony as one of his favorite people, was awesome. I was reading that thing because that was one of my father's favorites. Which funny, tonight during dinner we had a party for a friend of ours for a birthday this evening, and we played Tony Bennett the whole time we ate, and my sisters both cried through the whole thing because that was one of my father's favorites. So, but man, Randy's, if you didn't see it, go on the Cycle Showcase Instagram account and read that. Really moving. What a great guy Randy is. What a great guy Tony Bennett was. But
they did an interview with him and his wife last year. It was a special. Did you see that?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, what an incredible program.
Yep. Yeah.
Now, on the other hand, if you let, God rest his soul, if you let Tony Bennett get in between Randy and Dolly Parton,
well,
it's over, Tony.
It's going to be a throwdown. Going to be a throwdown.
It's over.
Radar marshmallows are free with the purchase of a live wire. Oh.
Well.
I think we've gotten a little sidetracked.
Back to the events.
Wednesday.
Well, they were so screwed up.
Wednesday. Oh, it's not my fault. Wednesday, August 9th, 17th annual Run to the Line ride through Vanacker Canyon with Cycle Source crew and photography by Michael Lichter.
take note. We're leaving at 1 p.m. a little bit later this year.
We're going to do
1 hour
lunches
later.
first
Yeah,
at the Iron Horse.
Lunch at the Iron Horse.
Because there's a very special day that day.
Oh, boy.
It is. I'm very excited for Chris.
Boogie Nights. Dun, 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 boogie Nights.
I got my outfit for Black Hills Boogie. I'm
Tom
so excited.
Kiefer got his too.
Camel is coming as the Rhinestone Cowboy.
Dude, can you imagine that big lanky son of a bitch?
He's like 8 feet tall and 100 pounds. And like it's yellow with rhinestones.
Oh my God.
So good.
See, and I'm going to miss it.
Okay, and this dun 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 dun.
But we actually got gold medals in there behind me for the winners of each class. And championship belt is on the way. Very exciting. Biker Olympics, Friday, August 11th. Cash money and prizes on the line and bragging rights for a year. Good Times Motorcycle Show, August 24th to 26th at Griffin Hines Farm in Swanton, Ohio. You can get more information at goodtimesmotorcycleshow.com. Also, August 25th through 26th, Realities Ride and Rally.
Right. Go ahead, put that together.
Every mile helps a child. It's a phenomenal event. Chris and I were lucky enough to go a few years ago and be a part of it. Please check it out at realitiesride.com. They do some amazing work with the youth in Colorado.
You have a really hard time with reality. I mean, saying it.
Well, never mind.
Four Corners
Rally, Labor Day weekend, Durango and Ignacio, Colorado. Four Corners Motorcycle Rally.com, celebrating 30 years. Colonial Chapter National Swap Meet, September 8th, 9th, and 10th, 2023 in Warren County Farmers Fairgrounds. You can get more information at the Antique Motorcycle Club of America's website. You go to their national meet. And why are you booing? Smoke
I just wanted to get you to make that face.
That was a great comeback for the wrong button hit.
It was.
Smokeout Rally, September 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Y'all can go home. It's going to be killer. Dirt drags, burnouts, mini bike races, World's Strongest Man, some killer music, an amazing Legends Gallery. We're going to have some cool antique motorcycles on display.
And the winner of the Biltwell People's Champ.
Yes.
Will be featured in our Legends Gallery.
He's going to be in our Legends Gallery along with Tom Banks, and some of his antique motorcycles are going to come
Fast
to display.
Freddy's coming
Freddy
with a bunch of his stuff.
Yep, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, buddy.
Tickets are available at smokeoutrally.com.
Deal Stereo, you better get away and check Smokeout out. We're waiting on you. Waiting on you. Expecting it. We want to go. We want to do a live broadcast from the dirt drags, and you're helping head that shit up. So, hey, I want to tell you guys, we couldn't do any of this without our sponsors, all of them up here. Make sure you check them out. Thank them for keeping Shop Talk going.
Yes.
We have quick.
And remember, sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring.
Like, share.
We have a quick tech tip that we're going to hit from the guys at 32 Choppers. And when we come back, we're going to pull this thing into the station. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Shop Talk.
Shop Talk Tech Tips are brought to you by S&S. Proven performance for the power sports industry.
Hey everyone, it's JC at 32 Choppers. Wanted to do a quick instructional video on a wiring technique that we use in our shop when we are joining wires to extend wires from a component. If you get a component and the pigtail they give you is just too short, you got to extend the wires. This is a butt joint or a butt connect style wiring technique. Also works very well in handlebars. If you put in, if you install ape hangers, you've got to extend your lines. And this is a great technique for joining those lines. And something about when you extend handlebar lines for, let's say, some taller bars, one of the things you want to do, instead of coming in and just cutting all your lines in the middle, if you think ahead a little bit and plan, you don't want to connect. You don't want to cut them all in the middle. And the reason why you don't is because when you put them all back together in the middle, what happens? Well, you get a real big fat, lump in the center of your wires, and then that makes it very hard to fish through your bars. So if you stagger those cuts, if you cut one a little higher and then right below that one, cut the next one, and then cut the next one, and then cut the next one, and then cut the next one, you can end up keeping your original profile of your loom the same. Negligible, but it'll be the same, and it'll allow you an easier pull through your bars. It keeps the profile the same, and it just makes just an easier job overall. But you got to think ahead a little bit. So that connection point, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do right now. So just got a little piece of 20 gauge wire. I'm going to just cut it. Okay, so I'm going to end up putting this back together. I'm going to take my wire strippers, and I'm going to strip off probably about 5/8 to 3/4 of an inch off the end. So I can just pull these off. And so now I have, pretend, my 2 wires that I want to connect back up. So what I'll do is I'll intertwine these, and I can just kind of shove them into each other, and then come in here and twist up. So now, for continuity's sake, I have a really low profile connection. Now, I can come in with my solder, and the key is to heat up the soldering wire a little bit, because then I can just run the solder along the wire itself, and it should just soak it up. So there it is. It's hot. I'm just running it along. Nice low profile here, and boom, done. Quick, easy. There's a nice low profile solder joint. Then I can take my heat shrink. You know, sometimes you have to plan ahead and make sure you have this on your line beforehand. And I can just run my heat shrink over. I can take my heat gun, let it heat up for a second, and then just come in and just shrink up my line. And what do you notice? Now that's going to cool down for a second, so I'm going to talk over it. But what do you notice? Look at my overall profile of that wire. It's about the same size as the original wire, negligible of the heat shrink, and that's an excellent connection joint. Very strong. I mean, I can pull on this joint, it's not coming apart. Continuity is top shelf. That's the way to do it. I hope you enjoyed the video. 32 Choppers, www.32choppers.com, Instagram at 32 Choppers, Facebook at 32 Choppers. Thank you guys. Have a great day.
I love those two. And Radar, what do you mean turd ball? That's a terrible word, turd.
That's what JC said.
Right on. All right, so listen, man, thank you guys for coming along on the ride that we call Shop Talk this week. Lots of good stuff coming up. Sturgis right around the corner, Smoke Out around the corner.
Yes.
But
next weekend, Shop Talk, we have Mr. and Mrs. Holes, V-Twin Visionary.
Gonna be kind of awesome.
I know. I'm looking forward to that.
So I'm looking forward to talking to them about life on the road, because have you noticed the last couple times that we stop by and see them, they're a little more hurried.
Yeah, well, you know, they finally.
She is.
Well, they found a place to call home, and they're settling down, and I'm super kind of jealous because it's exactly where eventually we're gonna be.
I know. It's in Maggie Valley.
No, it's in Maryville.
Or in Maryville.
Yeah, Maryville.
Maggie Valley is where I want to be, but
Maggie Valley is amazing.
Right on. Radar, man up, Mark. $150 and me wearing a Speedo with that hat live in downtown Sturgis for the day.
If you knew enough about the hat, you'd know that the shirt goes with it. A little combo action right there.
What?
Primo.
Damn.
So this hat will.
See, you got to coordinate. Got to
get it together. This hat.
Anthony Robinson, ask them on air what happened to your coffee.
Yeah, Renee will not let me get rid of this hat. This hat will go nowhere.
Right on. All right, well, listen, man, coming to you live from the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio. Appreciate you spending some of your time with us and letting us into your headspace. Every Sunday, 9 p.m., you can come back for another dose of Shop Talk. Until next week when we get together again, same chopper time.
same chopper channel.
Hopefully see you in Fuel Cleveland, Felicia.
Here we go, Cleveland.